All right, I'm the Flatrate Master, and today we're talking about you can't make money on Flatrate. Behind the camera is an Infinity, and customer was driving down the road, hit something, and punctured his gas tank. Fun. The scary part is he drove it in, leaking gas. I mean, pouring gas out. And let's talk about the point of this video. You can't make money on Flatrate, right? That gas tank pays 6.6 hours. To remove the gas tank, it requires removal of the exhaust, the entire rear suspension, and all the stuff that goes with it. Well, guess what? You don't have to. I've got probably 2.5 hours into it right now. Gas tank is in. All I've got left is I'm waiting on a gasket because I forgot to order a gasket. Gasket for the exhaust. I can put the exhaust back in, plug in the fuel pumps, put some gas in it, put back seat in it, and it's done to drive. So I should have probably 3.5 hours into it, but you can't make money on Flatrate, right? Obviously, I did not drop the rear suspension. The rear suspension never moved. Why? Because I looked at it and go, I can get that out without doing that. Now I had to drop the rear differential down to give me some room because there's some hoses that are pretty tight. But the point of this video is, if you're always following book, no, you can't make time on Flatrate. Obviously, rust notwithstanding, but if you're dealing with a very rusty car, do you want to mess with the suspension? So chances are you'd have done the same thing I did. And made hours on Flatrate. Oh my, oh. Now obviously, not every situation is like that, but my point of this video is if you're sitting there going over service procedure and you are following it to the letter, no, you're probably not going to make a lot of time on Flatrate. You might cut some time here or there by efficiency in your workflow, but probably never going to make time on Flatrate because you're following every point of that service procedure when you don't have to. You don't have to. I didn't want to drop the rear suspension, so I didn't. I figured out a way so I could do it without dropping the tank. And before anybody starts screaming warranty, 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 this car is way out of warranty, so Infinity's not cutting labor time. So, and by the way, there was no cutting, no grinding, no hackery whatsoever other than not following service procedure. Didn't cut anything. The torch came out once because of the exhaust nuts being rusty and having to heat them up so they come off and not ruin the studs, so I didn't have to deal with that. They came off fine, but no cutting, no hacking, none of that stuff. I don't do that stuff. If I have to do service procedure, I do service procedure. I'm not going to hack to make hours. I don't do that. You have to look at a vehicle repair how it needs to be done, not how the factory says to do it. Because trust me, sometimes the factory has you take out stuff that, why do I need to take that out? If you want to make money on Flatrate, you need to figure out the better way to do repairs. It's as simple as that. You know, sometimes the best way to do a repair is the easy way, the lazy way. Because, well, it's faster. And that's how Flatrate works. You do a job faster than it pays, you make more money. I know, weird concept. How can, I bill 60, 70 hours as a shop foreman and give most of the gravy away and do mostly check engine light diag, because I understand there's better ways to do it than what the factory says. Just because the factory says this thing has to come out doesn't mean that has to come out. You know, it's amazing how easy it is to pry something a little to the side and get something out instead of removing it. Keep in mind, there are some points where you get where you're like, well, I didn't want to, but I still got to take that out. It happens. And yeah, sometimes you will actually not make any time on that job if you'd have followed service procedure, because, well, you're in the middle of it and now you got to stop, secure stuff, go back and do other stuff. But I hope this video inspires you to look at a repair and figure out an easier way to do it. That's the whole point, is with Flatrate, is don't cut, don't grind, don't steal, but find a easier, better way to do something. Maybe not necessarily better way, faster. You might lose some skin, you might get some aggravation, but you can definitely make money on Flatrate. As always, thanks for watching. I am the Flatrate Master.